It's not so much that I make time, it's that my books make me make time.
Welcome to GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, aka the Going North Podcast, where authors from around the world help you realize that success is tangible. You'll leave with at least one new piece of inspiration or information to help you keep going north every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Now let's get on with the show. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, the Going North Podcast. We got another super special, awesome human for you today, folks. That's right, super special, awesome is right, because by goodness, because we got a high school librarian in the hizzy for shizzy, y'all. That's right, a librarian, baby. That's right, it's a dream come true. A podcast about books and authors promoting their books, and now we got someone who's all three and they're a librarian. So it's a librarian takeover. And not only is she a high school librarian, she's also a teacher, as well as a wife, too, and a wonderful mom. And she is kicking it, y'all. And she is living her best bookish life. So let's give it up for the one, the only, K-A-H herself, Miss Kelly Ann Hopkins. How you doing today, Kelly?
Great, thank you. I'm real happy to be here.
Oh, that's right. She's happy like all the pappies, maybe.
Yeah, just like all the kids in the library, right?
That's right. That's right. Name of the game, you go in the library, never come out. You just go and hide in the books, and you get lost in the world of imagination.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. You come in with normal school clothes, and you walk out with a wizard's hat and maybe a kitten.
And an espresso.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Definitely the espresso indeed to keep you woke.
That's right. Very
That's
true.
But hey, it ain't about espresso. It's about the Special K herself. But as you know, with all introductions, you're not allowed to be 99 days long. So mind filling in any cavities I missed about you, Kelly?
Sure. Like you said, I'm a high school teacher, high school librarian, and started writing a couple of years ago. And the stars aligned in the past 18 months, and 3 of my books got published. So, it seemed like forever before that would happen, and all of a sudden it was here. So it's pretty exciting. I live in northeastern Pennsylvania in a little town with a ton of horses and very few people, and it's kind of nice that way.
There you go. That's right. It's where social distancing already happened.
That's right. You don't have much choice up here.
Oh man, indeed. So growing up as a little young one, did you ever see yourself as a librarian when you became a taller, younger one?
Actually, I kind of did, but I didn't realize it until I got older. When I was a kid in elementary school, I used to help the librarian all the time. And it never occurred to me that that would someday be my job. And when it happened, and I started to look back on, how did I get here? I realized that I was probably on this path from about fourth grade and just didn't realize it.
Fourth grade, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So probably 18 years ago, indeed. That's right,
So
indeed.
plus, plus, plus.
Okay, fine, 18 and a half. God, fine. Oh yeah, well that's I'm talking about helping the librarian and in the fourth grade indeed, and growing up to the teenage years where you finally found your love of writing. So how did that come about? Was there a particular book that was your favorite that inspired you to eventually want to write your own?
Well, I always used to read mysteries all through, elementary school, high school, you name it. Even when I became an adult, that was always my thing. And I used to go and try and meet mystery authors and talk to them. And I met the late great Mary Higgins Clark once, and it was pretty special. And it just, those were the books that I loved. And no matter what I did, I just couldn't seem to get away from that desire to be that person, to write the next Nancy Drew series, to write the next, you know, even like today, Megan Miranda, her mysteries are just fabulous. So all of these authors just really inspired me to go out there and give it a shot. And two of my books are kind of mysteries, the other one isn't, but it's really where my love lies. So it's working so far.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Definitely good when you can pick up a good old mystery and then you figure out, oh, darn it, who done it? I got this person. Oh, crap, it wasn't them, darn it.
My family doesn't like to watch television with me too much because I often can figure it out. So I've learned over the past couple of years to just not say anything. It's probably for the best.
Just halfway through, it's like, oh, it's probably them. And they figured, oh, darn it, why'd you ruin it? Your clairvoyance, get it out of here.
That's the truth.
That's right, clairvoyance and psychic powers, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All from developing in the youth. My goodness, my goodness. So, reading mysteries to writing mysteries and publishing mysteries. So, and speaking of publishing, my goodness, you had one heck of a year because if I'm not mistaken, you actually wrote and complete 6 books and 3 of them got picked up by publishers, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, I have 3 that currently are got published this summer, one in May, one in July, and then one just came out on August 3rd. And 2 of the books are series. So the next book, working on the next book in both of those 2 series. So it's been a very busy year getting all of those ready to go. But a heck of a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I bet it's been fun on all the buns indeed. So how was the process managing all that? Because not only was this your first time actually publishing books, you actually went to the traditional publishing route and it's 3 different books. How's that been?
It's been a lot to keep track of. And I was lucky, my one publisher published 2 of my books. So when we were kind of winding down with the first one, I said, hey, I have this other one. Would you be interested in taking a look at that? So when they bought the second book, that was pretty manageable because one was just about wrapped up and then we were able to do the other one separately. But Buried Beneath, the third book that just came out in August, was laid over the top of the 2 of them. So it was an organizational challenge to make sure that I had deadlines kept and what needed to be done with this one and where was this one's status. And it was juggling, but it made the year go by very, very quickly. And if you wanted a year to go by quickly, it's been this past year and a half for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The year that shall not be named, even though it's already been named, the 2020, with all the good bad vision. That's right.
That's it.
Yes, it did. Well, that's freaking amazing. So one publisher picked up 2 and another one picked up another one. So what was your process with all of this? Because my goodness, like, did you see yourself actually getting 3 books published at once? Because folks are like, man, if I could just get 1 book out and 1 book done. And then it's like, oh, crap, I got all 3. All right. It's like having triplets.
I would imagine it probably is. The process really was very strange because I sold the first book, Buried Beneath, which is actually the last one that came out. And a week later, the other one sold. And it was almost to the day a week later. And who could even predict that something like that would happen? I've been trying to get published overall with different books for about 3 years. And then all of a sudden they all hit at the same time. So it was really quite stunning to me as an author that this happened, but very appreciated, believe me, after how long it takes to get published, and the struggle to get an agent and to have different relationships that will help further your career. It was really, it happened, just it seemed like it happened so quickly, but it really was a long process. It really was a couple of years before everything came together.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, D. That's what I'm talking about, D. Yeah, because definitely managing those relationships, indeed, because because there's like so many parts into really getting a book out there. Folks will be like, "Yeah, get your book out there, just write it, and you're done." It's like, no, you gotta, if like depending on which route you choose, like traditional or self-publishing, it's like you gotta get a cover done, but before that, you gotta get it edited multiple times and reread it and have different types of editors, and then you have to actually get out and market the book. So, how is the process with marketing and selling the book as a wonderful lady with many talents, with the day job as a high school librarian and having a family?
Well, it sounds exactly as tough as you just said it. Um, Especially since these are my first. I feel like a little bit, if they had been spread out a little bit more, I would have had a better grip on the marketing from the first book to the second book to the third book. But because they're all here at once, it's been a challenge. Luckily, I've had some really good help from the publicists at Gen Z Zenith Publishers. They've been doing a fabulous job. It's really a matter of getting it out and in front of as many people as possible. All of my author copies just printed, and I just got them, so now I'm taking them out to my local libraries and getting them stocked, and it's a lot of legwork. And that's, I think, what people who are starting writing don't realize, that there's going to be all of this other work involved once the book comes out. It's like the easy part was the writing and the getting to the point where it's ready to go. And now there's this whole other business that you have to learn. So it's really a huge learning curve for me personally. But luckily, I have some great friends who have already been published, and leaning on them a lot to learn the ropes of this new PR monster that you have to create in order to get your books in front of people.
Oh yeah, it's a monster indeed. It doesn't always breathe fire. Sometimes it just puts ice under your feet.
This is true. This is true.
It's like, yeah, fire breathe the dragon. We've been there before. Now I was gonna give you some ice. What? Ah, no. It's like, Facebook ads. Darn podcast interviews. Darn book signings. Make it virtual.
Instagram, banner ads. There's so much. There's just so much. And I feel like I could spend days just doing the small things. And it's hard with the day job. It really is. But I'm enjoying every minute of it.
That's what I'm talking about indeed. So, what do you enjoy most about all of it?
I like, I think the best thing is when people get back to me and say they've read something that I've written and they loved it and they couldn't put it down, and or it spoke to them in some way. I've enjoyed reading the reviews, good, bad, and indifferent. Every author gets a bad review here and there, and I look at those as learning experiences. I think that all of those conversations with people who read your material help you grow as an author. So I think that's the best part, is having people get in touch with me and say, you wrote this book about hoarding, and I know someone who, deals with this, or I grew up with someone like this, or I would love to visit these places that you write about. That's the cool thing.
Cool thing indeed. That's what I'm talking about. And I love what you said there about that mindset you have about reviews, especially the critical ones, because they help you to become a better writer. And also, it just shows that something's working. Because usually when someone does something, gives a critical review, it's like, oh, sweet, all right, that means it's not a random person or random robot. It's like, hey, this is actually reaching people. This means I'm on the right path.
That's true. And, if you write on a little bit of a controversial subject or a difficult subject, I think you get a lot more genuine feedback because, if somebody says this, what you wrote didn't sit well with me because of, a specific reason, then you know that they read the book. You're absolutely right that it's not a bot. It's not something that was paid for. You know that even if they didn't like the book, it got to them. So I think that's a valid point.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's right. That's right, indeed. So, do you feel like your day job may have helped you in a way to give you a bit of an advantage through this whole process, or it's like, nah, I'm still fighting like everybody else?
I think being a teacher and working with teenagers definitely helps to write young adult literature. And it's not so much that I pull my stories from my kids, but it's more that I have a different understanding of how they think and how teenagers react. And I think that's been a huge benefit. Besides that, I am an English teacher and a librarian, so writing is my wheelhouse. So I can't think of a better day job to go with my writing career. I think it's perfect.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Sweet. And speaking of the writing career, if I'm not mistaken, I believe wrote 6 books that are basically, well, 3 of them are still in hiding. Is there any plans to write a seventh or more books and publish each of them a year from today, maybe one at a time, or maybe doing three again with different
I don't
publishers?
I don't know if I'll be able to do three again, but I have the second book in the High Vices series close to being ready to go to my editor. So that one hopefully will, get into publication for next year. The other, there's another one that I have that would have to be a series title, and I don't know that I can juggle three series at one time. That might be asking too much. So that way might sit on the shelf for a little bit until I'm ready to move past these two series. But I'm always coming up with new ideas. I have a couple of fantasy ideas that I have been toying with, and an adult romantic comedy. And, I have a computer full of bits of different books that are simmering on the back burner. And as soon as I can give them some time, hopefully I can give them some life.
Woohoo! That's right, giving the shoe polish, maybe a mini skirt, and of course a crown as well.
There you go. Shine them up.
That's right, with extra shine, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So, if I'm not mistaken, is this your first podcast interview, or has there been multiple that I just haven't heard about?
No, you are my first podcast interview. Um, so I was very excited to get your invitation. So I really appreciate it.
Woohoo! My pleasure indeed, because I love supporting authors, especially those who are also librarians indeed. Because, funny enough, my day job, I work at a public library myself, so gotta look out for the librarian folk.
Absolutely. It seems like we're few and far between, especially in schools now. So I'm very fortunate that my school district sees that library is so important to our kids and keeps it open, because a lot of schools are losing their libraries.
That's right, which is a freaking shame. It's like, hey, come on, y'all. Like, these places are useful. Just because Google exists, that doesn't mean it's the end all be all here.
Very true. And, most of my kids come in for pleasure reading anyway, because of Google. but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't have the same experiences I had growing up with my school library. And it's great to be able to provide that.
Oh yeah, definitely can say that indeed. Definitely could say that again indeed. Sweet. So since this is going to be the first of many more interviews to come, is there a question that you wish to be asked more often?
I think one of the things that I just like to say to everybody that listens is that don't let anybody, say to you you can't do this. You know, you talk about how I got started and all of that. And there's many people who said, "Oh, you're never going to publish a book. You're never going to be able to do this. It's never going to happen." And you can't let anyone take your dream away from you. And maybe that's not necessarily a question, but it's definitely a topic I'd like to see in any interview that I do, because I hope that I inspire somebody to not give up no matter what.
Ah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. That's what I'm talking about indeed. Sweet. So, any advice for the other moms and out there and who are trying to juggle 7 balls with only 2 hands, metaphorically speaking, and want to have time to write their novels? Any advice for them? Maybe some attention management tricks, aka time management tricks that you use to make the time to make the magic happen.
I just know that it's not so much that I make time, it's that my books make me make time. When you have these ideas and you have plans for a book and you have these characters nagging you day in and day out, and you know that you're capable of becoming a writer, you just need to find those 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour before everybody gets up, 45 minutes after everybody goes to bed, on your lunch. Find those times and make your dream be part of your schedule. And that's really what it is. You have to find out those little bits of time that eventually will turn into a book. And it might take you 2 years and it might take you 5 years, but if you continue to work at it, it's going to happen, and you're going to have a manuscript when you're done, and you're going to be able to say, "Look what I did." And just don't give up. Find the time. You can do it.
That's right, you can mountain do it indeed, y'all. You can mountain do it indeed. Well, time for a fun question, and you probably didn't even see this one coming. And it's gonna be interesting since you released 3 books in less than freaking 6 months. But so we'll see how this goes, especially since I believe two out of the 3 are different genres. So if your books were particular food items, what would they be and why?
Oh boy. So if my books were a food item, my first two, the mysteries, would be some kind of chicken and secret sauce, I guess. And then the other one would be anything but pizza. And if you read the book, you know why it doesn't want to be pizza.
Come on, pizza's like the best thing on earth. Aw.
Oh, not in Buried Beneath. Trust me. All you have to do is look at the cover. There's a pizza on the front cover.
Buried beneath. So it's something in the pie. Alrighty, I got you. Alright, avoid the pizza. Alrighty. That's right. The secret sauce, indeed. So it's not Soylent Green in the secret sauce, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, good. Because I'm sure you know the random jokes that pops in people's heads, especially silly folks like me. It's like, so what makes this sauce so secret, huh? What's the ingredient?
That's right. I'll never tell.
Alright, so it's Soylent Red. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And again, I don't think I want to know what Soylent Red is. It's probably freaking evil. Oh, man. So what's next up for Kelly? Because I know you're gonna be on this tour promoting the great works and the great writings, and you got three more that need to see the light of day and come out the metaphorical closet. So what's next for you?
Well, I have a couple more podcast interviews lined up in the next month or so, and working with some of my local book selling companies to set up some signings, and hoping that a couple of the conferences that I'm interested in the springtime will open because of COVID, and they won't be virtual. So with any luck, I'll be in Georgia in May or March, I'm sorry, for the TomeCon conference. I've been there a couple of times before speaking about writing to the students that come to that. And this will be my first time going as a published author. And so there's a few things on the list, and then getting my next book out to my publisher is a priority. So hopefully have at least a book to my publisher by the end of the year, so that we'll see some new titles next summer.
Oh yeah, that's right. This special K is gonna come with peaches, y'all. She's heading to Georgia, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great conference.
Sweet. That means it's gonna be fun on a peach bun. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
She's gonna be peachy, y'all. That's right. A big peach with all the juices, y'all. All the writing juice you can say grace over.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you're to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but this time in the current year of 2021, with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
I would give myself the advice to not wait as long as I did to go after my writing dream. 25 years old, was dealing with very, very small children, and everything else was pushed aside. But I would say, you know what, find a way and get it done, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to pursue dreams. So I would definitely tell my 25-year-old self to get off your butt and go do it.
Well, there you have your folks. Get off your booty and do it. That's right. Get off your booty and do it, y'all. That's right. That's right. If you have a dream, take the steps necessary to manifest it into existence. That's right, because thoughts are things, y'all. That's right. Thoughts are things indeed. And that's right. Kelly turned her thoughts into things, aka magical books, for you to pick up, read, and share with your family, your friends, your camel, your cat, your penguin, heck, even a dog, or even a rocket launching penguin. So, for those who want to keep in magical contact with the wonderful Kelly herself, what's the best way for folks to do so?
You can find me on Twitter at khopkinswrites, or you can also find me on Instagram at the same khopkinswrites. Those are probably the best places to reach out to follow me. And I love talking to my readers out there on those two platforms. So or come and see me at a conference. Hopefully they'll be running this spring. So fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah. Or it could be springing this spring. Or jumping.
We sure hope so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hopefully things will be better. Hopefully. All I can say is hopefully, because we make plans and then God laughs. So we'll see.
That's right.
Woo. But either way, it'll be some good stuff happening in the future for you, Kelly. Some good stuff indeed. So heard that right, folks. Check out all of Kelly's stuff. Head over to your favorite book place. Buy some copies of her fabulous books. All three of them, especially into wonderful young adult mystery novels. Y'all, I'm telling you, heck, even young adult novels, period, because they are more exciting than the adult novels, probably. if not most of the time, because they're more fast paced. So definitely check out all these novels and be on the lookout for more. Heck, even subscribe to her email list too, because more great stuff is coming from Kelly, y'all. That's right, because she's got at least three more books you know about that are coming out, y'all. So be on the lookout for those as well. So, any parting words before we close up shop, Kelly?
I just want to say thank you, Don, so much for inviting me to be on the show. And I hope all of your listeners have a great day. And thanks again.
How's it going, my friend? I'm so glad you made it to the end. That shows that you are an uncommon finisher, and I am so grateful for you sharing your ears, your attention, and your time to this wonderful podcast to do something that'll take yourself to the next level. And for everybody else involved in this wonderful program, share it with at least three people in your network so that way more folks can not only catch the fire that is on this podcast, but can also be inspired to be their best.